dear students of grade 12 economics class of St. Peter's College, Colombo, Phone, Colombo branch. We have already started our new lesson number 5, which is national accounting. So in our previous lesson, I have discussed with you about some of the concepts relating to macroeconomics. So today I am going to start off with the approaches of national accounting. So basically there are three main approaches of national accounting. So to discuss about the different approaches, we need to have some background knowledge on certain things. One more important thing is about the economic actors. So I think this is little bit familiar to you as we have already discussed about the economic actors in our very first lesson. So economic actors are the different sectors contributing to macroeconomic objectives. So these are also known as economic agents as well as institutional characteristics. So in our first lesson, we have learned about so many institutional characteristics. But for national accounting, we will consider only 4 main economic actors. They are households, business firms, government and the foreign sector. So we have to identify and understand what are the main duties of each of these economic actors. So let's discuss about the main duties of the household sector first. So as you know, households are the owners of factors of production. So their main duty is to provide factors of production and to earn factor income. Then they purchase goods and services produced by the business firms. And as you know, whatever the income earned by the household sector will not be consumed in full for the purchase of goods and services. So whatever the amount remain from their income without spending for the consumption will be termed as savings. So they are also generating savings. And also they pay taxes to the government and consume the public goods and services provided by the government. So these are the main 4 duties of the household sector. Then let's look at what are the main duties of the business firms sector. And as you know, the business firms will purchase factors of production from the household sector, and using those factors of production, they produce goods and services, sell them to the household sector as well as government and earn income. Apart from that, they do pay taxes to the government as well as from the profits earned, they pay dividends to their shareholders. Moving on to the government sector. Government sector collects taxes from the household sector and the business firms, and they provide public goods and the welfare goods. Because you know, in a market economic system, the business firms will not provide public goods as they cannot earn profits from the public goods and services. And whatever the welfare goods and services provided by the business firms in a market economic system will not be adequate to the market. So therefore, government intervenes into the market economic system and provide public goods and services as well as welfare goods. And to provide those public goods and the welfare goods, the government use the tax income collected from the households and the business firms. Then the government is responsible to provide national defense as well as maintain law and peace in the country and to protect the environment. Also, the governments provide social welfare capital such as the government schools, government hospitals, as well as they provide economic overhead capital which is really necessary for the smooth functioning of the business activities. And some of the examples would be roads, ports, airports, Then the last one, the government provides consumer subsidies as well as producer subsidies. Then our last economic actor which will be considered in this lesson will be the foreign sector, and the main duties would include import and export goods and services, pay and receive foreign factor income. So as you know, there are people who are working abroad providing their employment, providing their labor, so then they would earn the factor income called wages. So those types of things will come under foreign factor income. So those are the main duties of the four main economic actors which will be discussed, which will be considered under this lesson. Okay, now we have the circular flow of income. So to talk about the approaches of national accounting, this circular flow of income is very vital because we will be discussing the approaches in light of this circular flow of income. So what is circular flow of income? It is the interrelationship among these economic agents what we have discussed, and their functioning of the economic activities is shown by the circular flow of income. So as you know, we have discussed four main economic actors, but assume that we have only two economic actors, households and the business firms. Such an economy is termed as a simple closed economy, or else only two-sector economy. So the two-sector economy or the simple closed economy will have only households and the business firms. But if we have the government sector also in that economy, then such an economy is called a closed economy, or else these three-sector economy. Then finally, if we have the foreign sector also, that economy becomes an open economy, or else the four-sector economy. So in the open economy, we have all four sectors: households, business firms, government and the foreign sector. Okay, this is the so-called circular flow of income. I think this is also familiar to you because we have already seen this in the lesson number 4, or else the previous lesson when we are discussing about the factor market. We just discuss about the circular flow. So I think therefore this is familiar to you. So by looking at the circular flow of income, and this particular economy has only two sectors, so therefore this is a circular flow of a simple closed economy where you have only households and the business firms, and you can see there are arrows moving here and there in the circular flow, but you can see this is closed. Nothing will go outside the circular flow, or nothing will come from the outside to the circular flow. So you can see there are inner set of arrows as well as outer set of arrows. One set of arrows moving to the right side and the other set moving to the left side. So let's discuss what are these arrows represented. So let's look at the inner set of arrows first. There are households. From the households, there is an arrow moving to the business firms. What can this be? As we know, the households are the owners of the factors of production, and they are providing factors of production to the business firms. So this arrow represents that. You can see it says land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, or else the factor services. Households provide factors of production to the business firms, and in return from the business firms, the factor income will flow to the household sector. So that is represented by the outer arrow in the factor marker. So you can see the top part is the factor marker. So one arrow flows from the households to the business firms, represents the flow of factors of production, and the arrow which flows from the business firms to the household sector represents the factor income earned by the household sector, and that particular activities happen in the factor market. Moving on to the bottom set of arrows, one particular arrow moves from the business firms to the households, and as you know, from the factors of production purchased from the households, business firms produce goods and services, and those goods and services will be sold to the household sector, and at the selling, the goods and services will flow to the households from the business firms. So that's why this particular arrow goes from the business firms to the household sector. Then in return for the goods and services purchased from the business firms, households pay for those goods and services, and therefore the outer arrow in the product market will flow from the households to the business firms, and this particular set of activities happen in the product market. Okay, now let's look at this part. Now, as I told you, in this circular flow, there is an inner set of arrows as well as outer set of arrows. Look at the inner set of arrows. First one, the arrow which moves from the household sector to the business firms represents the factors of production which are moved from the households to the business firms, and the bottom arrow shows the goods and services which are moving from the business firms to the household sector. So therefore, the inner set of arrows represents the real flows. One shows the factors of production, the other one shows the goods and services. So they are real flows. Look at the outer set of arrows. The first outer arrow, which is moving from the business firms to the household sector, represents the factor payments. It's a monetary payment for the factors of production purchased from the households by the business firms. They pay the monetary value of those factors of production as the factor payments to the households. Then move on to the bottom outer arrow. That is the consumption expenditure. So as you know, households purchase goods and services from the business firms, and for those goods and services, households will pay for the business firms, and that is called the consumption expenditure on the goods and services. Again, it's a monetary value. So therefore, the outer set of arrows is known as the financial flows. Okay, then we have the factor income of households. We will denote it as Y. Then the amount of goods and services produced by the business firms sector will be denoted by Q. The consumption expenditure of the households will be denoted by E. So if you look at the circular flow, this will be denoted by Y. This is denoted as Q, and the last arrow is denoted as E. Okay. With the knowledge of this circular flow, here you have the three different approaches of national accounting. First approach is the income approach. Second, the product or the output approach. Third is the expenditure approach. So what do you mean by the economic income approach? So income approach says when the business sector purchase factors of production from the household sector, there will be a factor income flow to the household sector. So if you can recall the circular flow, nothing has been gone out of the circular flow and nothing from the outside of the circular flow injected to the circular flow. So therefore, whatever the income circulates among the different actors. So therefore, we can estimate the national income either using these three approaches. One is the income approach, which says whatever the income generated by the households through providing factors of production will be equal to the national income. Or else, the same amount of factors of production will be used by the business firms and produce goods and services equivalent to the amount of those factors of production. So therefore, even if we estimate the value of the output produced by the business firms, that is also equal to the national income. Then we have the expenditure approach. It is whatever the goods and services produced by the business firms will be purchased by the household sector. So to purchase that, household sector will be spending an expenditure equivalent to the amount of goods and services produced by the business firms. So therefore, again, the national income will be equal to the expenditure incurred by the households in order to purchase the output produced by the business firms. So therefore, we can estimate the national income either using income approach or else the output approach or else the expenditure approach. Okay, now we have a question. Are all three approaches give the same answer? Let's see. Now as I told you, there will be nothing going outside the circular flow as well as nothing will come out from the outside the circular flow to the circular flow. Therefore, technically, whatever the income generated within the circular flow should equal to the output generated as well as the expenditure incurred within the circular flow. So let's take an example. What is Y? Y is the income generated by the household sector through providing factors of production. So if the household sector provides factors of production value to 100, they receive the factor income equivalent to the 100 rupees. Move on to the quantity of output. Using the factors of production which is valued 100 rupees, the business firms can produce goods and services worth 100 because they have only the factors of production worth 100. So therefore, Y should equal to quantity, the Q. Let's move on to E. The households can purchase only the output produced by the business firms. So they cannot spend nothing more than that. So if the business firms, the output produced by the business firms equal to Q, the expenditure incurred by the households to purchase that quantity of output should be equal to that particular value of the output, which is again 100. So therefore, in this, according to the circular flow, Y should equal to Q as well as E. So therefore, regardless of whatever the approach we use in estimating the national income, all three will give the same answer. Okay, for you to explain about the different approaches, I have used a simple closed economy. So in this diagram, it gives you the most complex circular type of a circular flow. So you can have a look at this circular flow. It has households, business firms, government, as well as the foreign sector, and lot of inflows and outflows are there among the different sectors. So you can leisurely have a look at this circular flow, and with that I'll be moving on to the next section, which will discuss about the detail about the output approach in the national accounting in detail. So therefore, I'll be meeting you in the next session, which discussed about the output approach. So thank you very much, and God bless you.